As you know, no soul food meal is complete without some collard greens. And today, sister has a little help from her sister who's going to be showing us how to clean and prepare these greens. Also on hand is sister's niece.
Hi, it's sister's niece.
So the first thing we're going to do, we have a bunch of greens here. I'm going to fold it. Okay, and as you see, she removed the big stem part called the vein. Okay, so once again, you're just going to go cut along the vein and remove that big stem part of your green. And then you just take it and cut it in two. You will need 1 container of salt to clean the greens. So here in the pot, I have some water and I'm going to pour half of the salt in and I'm going to let the greens soak in them for about a half an hour. And then I'm going to go ahead and rinse that off really well. And then I'll fill again and repeat with the remaining salt and then fully rinse off. And that's what we're going to use. To season the collard greens, I'm going to use some smoked ham hocks. And this was a small ham hock and the butcher cut it into 4 pieces. So I'm just using 2 pieces for the amount of collard greens that I'll be preparing today. And for the dry seasonings, I use crushed red pepper, garlic powder, and black pepper. And now, if you don't eat pork, you can use smoked turkey wings to season your greens, or you can make vegetarian without any meat. However, I do think that they're best when made with smoked pork, whether it be ham hocks or some fat back. But yeah, I like the smoked pork. So I'm going to take this and boil this for about an hour and a half. And then after I do that, and I want to keep in mind when you're boiling, you want to make sure that your water doesn't boil out. So you just have to, check and make sure, add water if you need to. So you want to, because it's pork, you want to make sure it's cooked thoroughly. So you're going to boil it for about an hour and a half. And then after that, then you'll take the greens and add it to that water, the same water, and boil it. And that's how, and then you'll boil the greens for about, gonna boil it for about another hour and a half, the greens. So in total, this meat will cook for about, roughly 3 hours. So, yes, we making some collard greens. So, sister. The greens have been added to the ham hocks. And once you go ahead and add the greens, you're going to add a little bit of sugar as well. And you can add a little bit more of the spice mixture, which is the crushed red pepper, garlic powder, and black pepper. Oh, they look so pretty. And this ham hock is so nice and tender, as you see. Oh, it's going to be so, oh man. It looks and smells so good. And do you see how pretty those greens are? And yeah, I like big leafy greens. I don't like mine chopped up fine. No, I don't like that. I like big leaves because, yeah, the ones when they chopped up, those remind me of frozen greens. And I don't do frozen. Fresh, baby, fresh. Cooking with sister. Soul sister, soul sister. And the soul food continues with sister. And also joining me on this collab is Shantae Vega and Couponing Forever. So be sure to check my girls out. So yeah, this next dish that I'll be preparing are candy yams. So I have 3 sweet potatoes that have already been peeled and cut up. And to make the sauce, we are going to need some butter, some ground nutmeg, some ground cinnamon, lemon juice, and some vanilla. Also, we will need some salt. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take these potatoes and boil them for about 20 minutes until they don't have to be so tender because they are going to go into the oven. And while those are boiling, I'm going to go ahead and mix up the sauce that we're going to put on top, which makes them candied yams. It's time to make that sauce for the candied yams. And before I mentioned all the ingredients, but I forgot the star ingredient, which is the sugar. And I have light and dark brown sugar here. And I have about a half a cup of each. And we are also going to need a third of a cup of water. So I'm going to combine the water. I'm going to bring the water to a boil on the stove top in a saucepan. And I'm going to add the sugar along with a half a cup of butter, a half a stick of butter, and a tablespoon of vanilla, some cinnamon, some nutmeg, and a dash of lemon juice. And yeah, I don't know the exact measurements on the nutmeg and cinnamon. So yep, I'm gonna do that. The sweet potatoes have been drained and transferred to this roasting dish. The sauce has been added on top, and I made sure to toss make sure each piece was tossed in the sauce and thoroughly coated. So now this will go into the oven at 400 for about 35 minutes. The chicken is soaking in some lemon juice and vinegar to be cleansed. And this is the way my grandma did it. The only difference was that you see mine is in a bowl. The chicken went right into the sink. That's how you make soul food chicken, and you clean it right in the sink. The chicken has been cleaned and seasoned and is marinated. I let it marinate overnight. And when you frying chicken, actually, if you can have it at room temperature before frying, that's best. But if you don't have the time to, then it's fine. And also, if you don't have the time to marinate overnight, that's fine too. You could just at least let your seasoning soak. The longer, the better, ideally. So this is the flour we're going to use. And I added some seasoning mix to the flour. So the same seasoning I used on the chicken, which is the Lowry seasoning salt, black pepper, garlic, and paprika. So I'm gonna put the chicken into the bag, shake it up, and deep fry it until it's golden brown. Thank you for staying tuned all the way to the end. So there you have it, our soul food dinner: collard greens with smoked ham hocks, some candied yams, and some fried chicken. I'm just waiting for Shantae Vega and Couponing Forever to bring over the remaining dishes that will round out the meal. And now, the ham hocks, and soul food has a very, the history of soul food is pretty interesting because, as you know, African Americans were enslaved in this country. And so the slave masters would give them, parts of the animals and stuff that they didn't want to eat. And what did the slaves do? They was very creative, and they was able to take those byproducts and things that the slave masters didn't want and turn it into delicious items that now are still passed down from generation to generation. And if you hear me choking up, is because this just invokes memories of my childhood, of, big Sunday dinners with my grandma. Okay, she's no longer here, and I don't want to edit this. And my mom is no longer here. I lost both of them at a very young age. However, I'm so thankful that I do have, I have great aunts, and my sister, oh my God, my sister, that has helped me along the way and become the woman that I am. So, thanks for tuning in to the Sister Save-A-Lot show. And I'm sorry if I got a little choked up, but yeah, I want to, it's a personal episode. And again, thank you, Shantae Vega, and thank you for Couponing Forever for agreeing to do this collaboration with me. So, hope you enjoyed it. Have a magnificent morning, awesome afternoon, and a nice night. Peace.